Hello, everybody. Ella J here for a wrestling gal, and today I am joined by your favorite pro wrestling commentator, a women's wrestling legend, and
I'm sorry.
a video extraordinaire,
I'm sorry.
Christopher Riddle. How are you
That was
today?
all right. I don't have any money, but I'll cut you that check later, darling. Choo
Thanks.
choo. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited when you brought this to me. I was like, oh, yes, absolutely. Just name a date and
Mhm,
place.
mhm. Well, you are obviously referring to Evolution 2. There was recently news. I've already done two Evolution 2 Dream Match videos, but like those were always hypothetical. Now it could be the
Gotta go
real
with
thing
realism.
finally. Yeah. Because obviously there's been recent reports that a Evolution 2 is coming to WWE this summer, maybe in July. We don't know yet. There's rumors that it's expected to be announced before WrestleMania. So immediately I was like, well, I have to put out an updated Evolution to like again,
It makes sense. It makes
this is just
sense.
dream matches. This isn't necessarily predictions, although honestly, some of these could very well happen. This is kind of just our dream cast of matches and the card for Evolution 2 based on the current WWE roster, including NXT, also TNA, and maybe some hot free agents. I know I have at least one or two or three free agents floating around in there that are potentially going to be on this card. We each of us kind of made our own little originally I was like, let's come up with like four and then like maybe some alternates. No, we
Now
each
we have
came up
like a
with
two
11,
match.
11
Now we have a two
matches.
match evolution or two
Honestly,
night evolution.
this
Yeah.
might be a two-night evolution because you came up with 11 matches myself. I was like, this feels pretty good. Obviously, well, there'll be a battle royal in there somewhere because I'm sure WWE is going to do that. We'll obviously had some title
I loved that.
matches.
I loved that's one of my all-time favorite battle royals
Same.
is because not only the people in it, but also that is a very well-structured battle royal. If you go back and watch it, Ivory did great in that.
Yeah.
That was Ivory's only real match, if not counting the 22 Rumble appearance. Remember watching that one together?
That
That was
was
funny.
really funny. If we're gonna get Ivory, I want Right to Censor Ivory back. That was great,
Or Zoe
honestly.
Stark as Right to Censor Ivory, since that's her new
Honestly,
gimmick
that
apparently.
seems to be budding. Honestly, though, actually, that you might have just convinced me because I was looking for like a second tag match, like a six-woman tag, Shayna and Zoe and Ivory. Honestly, I'm here for that. And that kind of actually fills that up. We're gonna circle back to
Well,
that. But
I have an idea that I can throw them into on mine.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So this isn't really going to be a structured piece per se, and we don't really have a limit on the number of matches, although I think we
we
should limit
probably
it
should have.
to 11 because we each came up with 11. So 11 matches max. One is definitely going to be a battle royal. So the rest of the other 10 are kind of up for grabs right now. We're going to be debating, discussing
we
our
we
picks.
we should clarify that if an Evolution 2 hopefully happens, there will never be 11 matches. Like,
Low key, I'd be okay with it though.
yeah,
Like
have one,
I mean,
two,
there
three,
could be some
four.
pre-show. There was one pre-show match on the original, which was Rhea versus
Yeah,
Dakota Kai. So
I'm at
there,
11. Some of them are just kind of
I'm also at
ideas and
11.
not really. Yeah. So let's just do all of ours. 22 matches.
But there might be some overlap. So like, we'll see what
I'm pretty
happens.
sure number one has some overlap.
Yeah, well, number one, I'm not budging on, so you're gonna have to scrap it if either of any of these three are in your other matches. The rest will be up for debate, but this match is not up for debate because it's a real possibility. And I'm just going to get it out of the way. Anybody who knows me knows one of my big dream matches is Mickie James versus Charlotte Flair. However, before that, it was Mickie James versus Paige. And you know what?
Oh,
That match is actually now a potential real possibility because
oh.
Saraya Page is now a free agent
Well,
and
I will
she
say this: she's on my list, but not in a wrestling
Oh,
capacity. So
okay. Okay. Well, for me, because I mean, Paige is now a free agent. Mickie James has been doing stuff with WWE. She's an LFG coach.
back in the fold, she's been making
She's
Legends
she's
appearances. Yeah.
doing some brunch during WrestleMania weekend. Charlotte Flair is back in action. So I was like, why not just collide both of them and Mickie James versus Charlotte Flair versus Paige? Paige. That is the
Oh,
one match I am not going to budge on because that would be the perfect culmination of my two dream matches all in one. So I
if
would
you
be
think
very
about
happy with
that, that's
that.
kind of like three different generations because
Yes.
Paige was kind of like that in between generation,
Yeah.
and then Charlotte. Okay, I'll keep it. I had Mickey versus Charlotte flat out because I knew that was going to be,
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
and I'm like, and I've always wanted to see it too, so I was like, I don't have any problem budging on
okay.
that one. But yeah, sure, throw Soraya in there.
Obviously, Paige and Charlotte have some
Mm-hmm.
maybe unfinished business. You know, Paige turned on Charlotte after Charlotte became Divas champion. Paige and Mickey touched like a couple of times during those final tag matches before Paige got injured and then had to retire, but never one on one. So that was like my OG dream match. I was like, please let it happen. And then obviously Paige Saraya got injured and had to retire, then went to AEW, but now she's a free agent and she said she'd be open to coming back to WWE. So like,
I feel like she's probably going to end up in even if it's just under a nostalgia agreement or
mhm.
something.
So that is the only match that I will not budge on because this is my show.
I'll keep it. That was a twist on that was a twist on what I expected from you. So well done.
Yes, absolutely. So match number one is Mickey versus Charlotte versus Paige, specifically Paige. The rest I will leave open to discussion. I will let you have the floor
All
for
right.
us to discuss.
So next up, so my number one was Mickey versus Charlotte, and these are not
As you know.
a couple of them are in particular order, but most of them are
Yeah,
not.
mine's not necessarily
Yeah.
in an order. It was just the order of which I thought of them.
So I was thinking, how do we get the tag team championships on the show and do something prestigious with it? So in a
Okay.
tag team turmoil gauntlet, the Judgment Day defends against Katana and Kaden, a reunited team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, Lay Cool, and the Bella Twins.
Okay. Now this is things get dicey. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also had like a tag team. I had a four-way tag.
Yeah. Some sort of multiple woman tag team title
Yeah,
match. Yeah.
because like they'll definitely the tag titles will obviously I also had I had NXT in there. I had Jakara and Lash.
That's what I was thinking. That's yeah. I realized I forgot to add some TNA and NXT talent in there. So I was thinking definitely throw an NXT team or two in there.
So I in my four-way tag titles, I also like I said, Jakara and Lash, Liv and Raquel. I also had Danny Luna and Jody Threat from TNA
Ooh!
because they just lost the TNA Knockouts tag titles, so they're free. And then, assuming they're cleared in time, some combination of Dakota, Kyrie, Asuka.
We're gonna get to that.
But you mentioned like Lay Cool is like right there as well. I did not
The
think of that.
Bellas.
Or see, I got Nikki in another match.
Okay, okay.
Who else did you say?
So just the ones off the top of my head, and I knew more teams could probably be added. Judgment Day, Bellas, Alexa Nikki, Katana Kaden, and Lay Cool. I'm sure there's Shayna and Zoe that's where we put Zoe and Ivory together is the right to censor.
So I had two tag matches on mine, like the other tag match besides this. Again, this was also just because I was like, I gotta fit like Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss somewhere. So I was like, maybe Tiffany, Alexa, and Trish against I don't know whether it's like Fatal Influence being Fallon, JC, and Jasmine. But I honestly I really like the idea of Shayna, Zoe, and Ivory if they're gonna do some like right to censor thing. But now that you say it, like Alexa and Nikki is right there. So then like who if theoretically it's Shayna, Zoe, and Ivory, like who would they like I mean Tiffany and Trish are right there. Would it be Lita? No, that would make sense because Trish attacked Lita the last time.
We'll get there. That is my one I am not budging on, by the way.
Okay. So I can do the tag titles. You want a tag team turmoil?
Turmoil or gauntlet or tag team some sort of multi-woman.
The thing is I kind of don't want to. So I have Nikki as part of a women's U.S. title diva gauntlet match. Chelsea Green facing like 5 or 6 divas. And I have Nikki, Maurice, Kelly, Jillian, Beth Phoenix, and then Natalia is the last one because she's kind of diva and current. And then I have Natalia winning and beating Chelsea. Like Chelsea goes through everybody, and then she finally gets to Natalia. And then Natalia wins the women's US title.
I like that idea. For Natalia, I said Natty needs to finally win the women's intercontinental title.
See, I feel like Lyra and Becky is right there.
Oh, I've got stuff for them too.
Oh.
So what was the U.S. title I have in a ladder match? Michin, B-Fab, Zelina, Piper, Alba, and Chelsea.
Chelsea wants like I feel like if we're gonna get like any divas, like Chelsea wants a divas like divas match. Like Divas Gauntlet, I feel like is such up Nikki's alley or
Yeah,
Chelsea's alley. I guess Nikki wouldn't necessarily have to be in it. I can, but like I really want like a Divas Gauntlet for
I
the
know.
women's US
I don't feel like they
title.
would do a divas themed anything is the problem.
Oh, but like
God, that's
this
such a good idea though.
this is our dream though. This doesn't this is us. We have the pencils,
Well,
not them.
who all did you say would be in the Diva Gauntlet?
So again, I'm flexible with this, but I had Nikki, Maurice, Kelly, Jillian, because I think Jillian and Chelsea would be hilarious. And then Beth Phoenix would be second to last, and then Natalia would be last. And
Well,
Natalia beats Chelsea.
all we would have to do was take Nikki out of that then.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so you could do the same match,
Hmm.
and then my tag match would be.
I
Yeah,
can
that
work
would.
with
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't know
work with the
something
tag.
about the. I really liked the tag team gauntlet at WrestleMania 37, where Natalia and Tamina
Oh
won
yeah.
and faced the champions
Oh,
on
the
the next
two
night.
nights?
Yeah,
Oh.
so
Okay.
I just really like the women's tag team gauntlet as a
Hmm.
way to get more women on the show
Where,
and
where
do something special for the tag
So
titles.
the gauntlet. Oh yeah, okay. Again, this is evolution though. Okay. So we could do yeah, I could do Liv and Raquel. I didn't even think of Alexa and Nikki. Um so Alexa and Nikki.
And it's very easy to put those two back
Yeah.
together if they want to right
Bella
now.
twins.
And I would put the Bellas over. I would have like a big moment of
Mm.
them finally winning the tag titles. I don't think they would keep them for long, but I think that would add some prestige to them for a short
Now,
run.
how many would you want? Five teams? I feel like is
That
good.
that can be played around with. The problem is if you do more than 5, it starts to drag on, especially since I already have a battle royal coming up too. So
Okay, so I am good with Liv and Raquel, Alexa and Nikki, the Bella twins, Lay Cool. And then it comes down to I really want like Lash. I feel like you need to have some
yeah,
NXT. I feel
yeah,
like Lash and Jakara.
yes, and those are the two to do it. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, you could look technically right now as we're filming this. Alexa and Nikki aren't on-air characters. If you had to take a team
Correct.
out, it would probably be
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And then I mean dependent. Yeah. Yeah, I at least want one T I have one other TNA representative. I feel like we need to have at least one,
Yeah.
and it is the Knockouts champion, which we'll get to. So, okay. So then, okay, let's discuss then our plans for the Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green. Match number 3. Again, this is not necessarily in any
Good
order.
order.
We're just kind of going and compromising. So, what you had a ladder match? I mean, that is
I
also right up Chelsea's alley.
Yeah. I had a U.S. title ladder match: Michin,
Mm.
B-Fab, Zelina, Piper, Alba, and Chelsea. So it would be almost like can the Secret Harvests, the three of them, fend
Uh,
off, but technically it's every woman for themselves type of thing. So it's just kind of a culmination of everything that now this is, allegedly in July is when this is
yeah,
going to take place. So I don't know if
yeah,
they could keep obviously this is all fantasy. What if you were booking
yeah,
Evolution tomorrow type
yeah.
of thing. So I felt like it would be a good environment for really all of those girls in there. So, and again, something that adds prestige to the U.S. title. But I love the Diva Gauntlet idea.
So are you cool with doing a divas?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
okay,
absolutely, yes,
okay. I feel like 5 names plus Chelsea is good.
yeah.
I had Natalia. I mean, you had Natalia in the IC title is the thing though.
Or I have an alternate idea for Natalia.
Okay, and what is that?
Natalia versus Masha Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts World Championship.
So Okay, since we're there, so I don't think that this would like the fans who know would know. I had Masha Slamovich versus Candice LeRae, like bloody Candice,
Ooh.
like. But the thing is, like how she's portrayed on Candice is portrayed on TV right now. Like people like wouldn't get it, but like those who know.
You want Masha
Um,
versus PWG, Candice
like
LeRae.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I would love that, but like how she's portrayed on TV right now, I don't foresee it
yeah,
happening. At least not on maybe on television, not at an Evolution
yeah.
pay-per-view. I'm cool with Masha versus Natalia, honestly.
So what happens to
Um,
the Divas Gauntlet then?
oh, I mean, she could still, she could just win then and retain. Like that's her dream right there.
Okay, yeah, I'd be
Um,
fine with that.
okay, so we match number three will be for the Knockouts Championship. I just want to say honorable mention Masha versus Candice. I want that on TV at
Oh,
some point.
absolutely. I would love
Really
that, but
bad.
like you said, there would have to be
Yeah.
some
So
building of Candace.
Masha versus Natalia. Okay. So then we have a couple spots open then to debate for our US title Divas Gauntlet. Um I guess we could have 5 or 6 women. Maybe 4 divas. So there's I mean I'm open to negotiating, but I definitely want Jillian in there because Jillian
Yes,
and
the
Chelsea would be
comedy spot, yeah.
hilarious. I also feel like you need to have a powerhouse, so like Beth
Mhm.
Phoenix is
I
right
just
there
don't know
for
if Beth is Beth in good. We're
she's a
doing
free agent.
fantasy. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing
she's a
fantasy.
free
So
agent right now. um I feel like Beth should I mean, and you also have Piper and Alba Fire right there to help
yeah,
Chelsea through it. So I have Chelsea, Jillian. I mean, Maurice would also just be really funny.
yeah.
Um, I feel like you have to have Maurice. Um,
Trying to
and
think
then
if
I
there's.
had Kelly, but there's also like other
She would be a
options.
good first one.
Yeah.
She would be a good first one to
And like
start it off
that's
well.
full circle because like Kelly was like
Hmm.
the first woman that Chelsea was really like inspired by.
Hmm.
So that would be like full circle for her. I feel like Beth has to be last though, like for dramatic effect.
That's the big. Oh
Like
my gosh, is Chelsea going to be able to? Yeah,
Chelsea gets through like everybody, and then all of a sudden like Beth Phoenix's music hits, and I could just see her face like, oh god.
yeah, exactly. It's
Um,
the Nia Jax Royal Rumble pop. It's yeah.
yeah. So okay, I'm cool with that. Do we want 5 total or 6?
Well, I would say five since we
5.
did the tag team gauntlet was five, wasn't it? Is that what we
Yeah.
decided on?
Okay.
So
Yeah. So I'm good with a. Okay. So do the tag team titles necessarily have to be in a gauntlet? I mean, it could just be tag team turmoil, like an elimination style.
yeah, you can do whatever multi-woman
Yeah.
tag team match for
Yeah.
the because you don't want two gauntlets on the same show.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you're gonna do like, it has to be a Divas Gauntlet.
Yeah,
The dramatic
yeah.
effect, and with Chelsea Green, then I guess retaining against Beth Phoenix in the final round. Which obviously Chelsea will be with Piper and Alba, her secret
A
hermits.
Piper Beth face off would be
Mhm,
nice.
exactly. So I would love that. Okay, so we have 4 matches official. I feel like there is an obvious one. That shockingly don't seem to be moving on for Mania would be Bailey and Roxanne.
So, I have something for that.
Okay.
Tag team grudge match. AJ Lee and Bailey versus
Oh,
Roxanne and Cora Jade.
interesting. But okay, so like storyline wise, Roxanne and Cora like are on weird
Are
terms
they?
right now.
Yeah, but so here's my thing. Are they officially broken up completely though?
So like
Because they have feigned and gotten back and
Cora
feigned.
has hit Roxanne.
And I watch NXT. It's the
Yeah.
funny thing. Like I
I
actually
mean,
keep up with that
it makes
product.
sense.
I feel
I didn't
like
even think of AJ Lee.
I feel like if AJ Lee was gonna come back for something, if you
Mhm.
presented that idea to her, she'd probably be like, "All right, one time." Like
And that
that's
kind
everybody she wants to.
and that kind of solves the like second tag team match because we had
Mhm.
2 tag team matches at the original. So that kind of solves that. But then also, man, like okay, so like what do you do with Tiffany Stratton? Like because I had her and Trish in like a separate tag match. Do you just have Tiffany versus Trish?
No, no. So I have
No,
the
it's just a question. Like not necessarily
no,
do you
no,
have
no,
it.
no, no.
Okay.
So yeah, would that mess anything of yours up to have the tag team match?
To have three tag team like I'm cool with AJ and Bailey versus Cora and Roxanne, but then I'm like, what do you do with Tiffany?
I don't know what you do with Tiffany Stratton on this show. And actually, I don't have Nia in here either.
I had Nia in
Tiffany,
the Battle
wait a
Royal.
minute. Did we ever have a big Tiffany versus Nia singles match?
No.
We could throw that on there.
True. I don't. Has Nia had a proper rematch?
I think she did like on a SmackDown. She didn't have like a PLE one or anything.
Yeah, you could continue that story. I mean, I'm cool with that.
At least there's something there.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, you need a powerhouse figure in this battle royal though, unless you bring back like Karma.
I loved Nia in the last battle royal.
Yeah, so did I. That's why I put her in it. But like, if you're gonna do anything with Tiffany, um, Tiffany versus Nia, okay.
You could have Piper be the powerhouse in the battle royal and just do double duty because she's not actually wrestling. Yeah.
This is true. This is true. Okay.
So or somebody from NXT, or there's different powerhouse. Remember now when there was, or I'm just happy now that there's different powerhouse options because back in the day you would have the one powerhouse girl if you were lucky and she was just booked to be the powerhouse all the time.
Okay, so I think I can agree on Roxanne and Cora a little bit begrudgingly.
That'll sell some tickets too. My big thing with I'm putting a lot of legends in these matches because I want it to be a very star-studded show, and then it to do well where they have to do it every year.
We will circle back to Tiffany and Nia. I can agree though on we'll circle back to that. I can agree on Roxanne and Cora versus AJ and Bailey.
Yeah.
I mean, CM Punk is a special guest ref. No, I'm kidding.
No, because I was like, I have always said that I really wanted to see Punk and AJ versus Seth and Becky.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't put that on freaking Evolution. Like,
yeah, I mean, he could be, I guess, a special guest referee. That'd be hilarious. Or like, he'll be the special guest timekeeper. We will make an exception for CM Punk.
Michael Cole did commentary. There's a precedent for a man to be on commentary. You can let him call that match.
Oh yeah, commentary. CM Punk on commentary. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't even think that.
Hello.
I know. So I feel like another kind of given, since they're not going this route for WrestleMania directly anyway, is Rhea versus Bianca just straight up singles.
That is my main event.
Okay. So
that is my women's world title. The two women on the poster, like the 2K poster last year. That is, to me, the two biggest female stars currently on the WWE roster. They have never had the big one-on-one singles match. Okay, that is a main event to me. That is to me, obviously they're not doing it. To me, the triple threat women's world title is easily a main event at WrestleMania. But that's, another conversation.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Now, you may be wondering because of that. I think we're in agreement on that one, right?
Yeah, I do have Io in a separate match. And that's Io versus Julia.
Oh, I have Julia in something else. I have the Damage Control Explodes Fatal 4-Way. Asuka versus Kairi Sane versus Dakota Kai versus Io Sky.
Who do you have Julia wrestling then?
I want a longer rematch between her and Stephanie.
That's true.
Because what else do you have Stephanie doing on the show?
I didn't have Stephanie on my show necessarily. Yeah. I didn't have Stephanie on my show, I'm going to be honest.
Because I feel like as good as that match was on NXT TV, it was a TV match. They didn't get enough time to show. And what better? I mean, that crowd will be nuts for it. You're thinking, I can tell. You're like,
I have to remember that this is like Dream. Man, I really want that Io and Julia rematch.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't get it somewhere else. I feel like that'll happen somewhere. That'll be a main roster. That'll happen.
Who in this case, like, who would turn on? Okay, theoretically, who would turn on who in this case? Like, who would be your heels and who would be your baby faces?
Maybe Asuka comes back and starts planting
Is
seeds of
mad
doubt.
that like they've been like without her.
And
Okay.
really, I just had them all. Do you remember? I know you do. Just the Legacy Triple Threat at WrestleMania 26, where they
Oh
all come out
yeah.
to their own
Yeah.
music and their all their individual personalities. It's like the final explosion of Damage Control.
That's true. And maybe I feel like you should have at least like one because at the original Evolution we had Kyrie versus Shane. I feel like maybe yeah, you probably should have one
Mm-hmm.
exclusive like NXT match. Okay, I can agree to that, but at some time down the line, I better get
Yes,
Io
absolutely. Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
Julia.
That's why I'm like, girl,
Okay.
that's gonna happen. Just because you know me, I'm
Okay.
a long term planner.
Damage Control 4-way is match number 7, and then 8 would be Julia versus Stephanie for the, I presume, NXT Women's title.
Yes, you could even put a best 2 out of 3 falls on that,
Oh
or
yeah. So like we should probably add at least one. The only match that I had like I guess a gauntlet like is like a stipulation, but like the only match that I had like a stipulation on, and maybe they'll do this at Mania, was Naomi versus Jade, and that was like a last woman standing. But if you were to do like a specialty, like Julia and Stephanie would be it. Like what would it? I mean, it'd be elimination, obviously, but like, or what would you do? Oh no,
I
what
would
would you
do just
do? Two out
a
of three falls is good though.
yeah, I
I
would
feel
do
like
like I wouldn't do like a hardcore stipulation or something. I would do a
yeah.
stipulation like 30-minute Iron Man or 2 out of 3 falls or something wrestling based, not a, submission match or whatever it is.
Hmm. Okay, I feel like that's the match to do it on too.
So you were
Um,
talking about Naomi. I have
yes.
another dream match idea for Naomi. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Um for those that watched the first Evolution,
Yeah.
know that Naomi paid tribute and has always talked about a dream match with Miss Melina Perez. So I put that down, but I'm like, oh damn, that Naomi and Jade last woman standing idea is good.
But also, like, could they extend it out until July?
That's
Like,
the
I mean,
other
I
thing,
guess
yeah.
they could because I mean they extended Becky and Trish how long, you know?
If we were booking Backlash, I would say, yeah, do it there.
So theoretically, so right now we're at 8 matches.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have two more and then the battle royal. So like we were talking about Tiffany versus Naya. I know you have something else involving Trish and Lita.
Yeah.
I just had Lita in the battle royal personally. What is your other non-battle royal match? Because we have like 3 matches left, and one of them is going to be a battle royal. I mean, I guess we don't necessarily. We could make a 12 match card. But what is your other non-battle royal match? Oh wait, I do have one more actually too. Okay, go on.
It is one last time Trish Stratus versus Lita, or
Okay.
alternatively, Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Becky Lynch and Lita.
What do you
I got a
what do
lot of
you
tag team matches.
what do you do with the women's IC title?
That was
I had Lyra versus
good
Becky.
question. Well, then I mean, if you do Trish versus Lita 1-on-1, then
You
by the
gotta
way, if
go
we did
on.
the Naomi Melina dream match, that would open Jade up to be free to challenge Tiffany for the WWE Women's Championship and have that be a big marquee match.
That is also true.
That just hit me now. Folks, welcome to Evolution 2,
I
a
don't
6-hour pay per view. This is
I
getting
want
wrestled.
this to be like a 14 match card. That's the thing. Oh God. Okay.
But it's like, it's women's wrestling fans booking
Yeah.
Evolution. Like,
Oh God. This would honestly at this point just be a 2 night card.
yeah.
If we're gonna do this.
Well, I mean, look, there's enough star power on it to,
Yeah.
especially if your Mickey Page Charlotte match happens and the
Yeah.
Bellas being there and
Yeah.
Trish versus Lita and Bianca and Becky.
Okay, so if you were to do that tag match, what would you do with the women's IC title match then?
I'm struggling with the women's IC title.
Because I feel like I mean, okay, so like the tag team match I really like because Lita and Trish per se aren't in their prime
Yep,
anymore and
yep,
they,
yep.
they
It's a
have some
safer
leeway
match to
there.
do.
But also like Lyra and Becky is also right there because Becky technically never got a rematch for the NXT Women's Championship. You have to do something with the women's IC title.
You could do Becky versus Lyra for the IC title and then make Trish and Lita like a no holds barred match or something. So there's some
What if you did
plunder
like
in there.
Lyra and Jordan?
Yes, yes. Or Lyra
Okay.
has an open challenge and it's somebody from TNA or something like that. Or Lyra has an open challenge and it's answered by Jordan.
Okay. Okay, at this point, evolution, the evolution of Chris
We're
Riddle
we're
and LJ is 2 nights.
we're making this a 2 night event. Yeah, it's gonna be Evolution 2 immediately following the next night Evolution
Okay,
3.
so for your tag team match, who did you have Becky teaming with? Oh,
Uh,
Becky and Lita.
Becky and Lita versus Tiffany and Trish.
So somebody would have to, I guess Tiffany and Trish are the heels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because here's what you've got to do with that. First of all, Tiffany Stratton is easy to flip the switch and turn back heel at any second. Her gimmick is a heel, even if she's a babyface. Number two, well, Trish came back as a babyface. You can easily bring Lita back on TV and confront Trish and be like, remember when you did this to your best friend and you tried to make everybody forget about it and forget I didn't exist? It's easy to set up. That's easier to set up than the Trish and Lita versus Alexa and Mickey tag was.
Yeah.
They
So
just
then,
announced. Remember that literally just started with them announcing Alexa versus Trish, like with no build. Like at least this has something.
yeah, and that's kind of why initially I had Tiffany, Alexa, and Trish in a tag match.
Yeah,
But also I was like, what do I do with Tiffany and then Alexa and then Trish? So I'm okay with this because there was history there.
yeah.
Um,
And
my
there's
word,
history between Becky and Tiffany, Trish and Becky,
yeah,
Lita and
that's true.
Becky,
Yeah,
Trish and Lita.
yeah. My worry though then with Melina and Naomi is then what do you do with Jade?
Is there anybody from TNA? Gail Kim. Gail Kim challenges for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We were talking about the Paige thing earlier. I didn't have them in matches, but I had down on this at the end appearances by Paige and or Gail Kim.
Yeah, Lyra and Gail would be fun, but like there's not really like a history there.
No, you would just have to do an open challenge thing. Or, you know what? I know you're dead set on this and we're keeping it. If you just did Charlotte and Mickey one-on-one, you could have Paige.
Oh, Paige and Lyra.
The open challenge, and that's Paige's big return to WWE.
And yeah, she's against somebody, yeah, from like the Ireland, UK area. It's like Paige going right after a title. Oh, but it would. But the thing is, Lyra's a baby face. Like they're both baby faces.
Well, I mean, in that moment.
I mean, technically Jordan is too. Oh my God, this is hard because you have like you
It's
should do you should do something with the women's like okay, so technically, if I recall correctly, we got Nia versus Jade in the women's Queen of the Ring like
yeah, but
semi-final.
it very quickly went to a DQ.
Yeah, so technically we have not had Nia
Ooh,
and
I like
Jade.
that. I like that.
So technically we haven't had it. I mean, cleanly because Jade got DQ'd because she got attacked or whatever. If I'm recalling correctly. So technically we haven't
It
had
was something at the timekeeper's table, or yeah, it was some way out of it because it was very early on where Jade had not been beaten yet. I like that. I liked their whole stare down at the Rumble when Jade debuted. I'm all for that, and it makes storyline sense too.
Okay, so Nia versus Jade then?
Yeah,
We're we're out. So
and
we're
it's
gonna this
something
is
you
gonna
don't
end up
really have to do too much for
yeah.
because it's just it's two powerhouses. Like you just have them
Meat,
stare off.
yeah, meaty women slapping meat. That's right.
Exactly.
And then you have Lyra versus Jordan. I see. I
I
like
love that. I love that one.
and then okay, so
I'd
number
have
15,
Jordan win and go up to
yeah,
the main roster as IC champion.
Melina versus Naomi. And then I think number 13 is Battle Royal.
Battle Royal. In Battle Royal, I just have basically everybody who's not, in a major
Mm-hmm.
role. Now, not to undermine the Battle Royal, but I like to call it the Then Now Forever Battle Royal with
Yeah.
legends from
I
then,
want
now, and the
Victoria.
future. Jazz and
Yeah.
Victoria, I have down.
This is where
Uh,
you could bring back you could do some shenanigans here then with Zoe and Ivory, like that right like I want that moment then. You had
yeah.
time in there too. That would be really fun.
This is where you can use some more of the NXT girls. You can
Hmm.
put some of the TNA girls in there if they're available. That one you can play around with. So besides Jazz and Victoria, I just put legends such as Jazz and Victoria, main roster
Hmm.
girls not used on the show, NXT
Hmm.
girls.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this would also be a place to have somebody like an Ash by Elegance who was in the first Evolution, who also has ties to TNA. I mean, this is also where you could have some TNA people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see, who else like from TNA could you have that like would get a pop?
I would love to see Savannah Evans in the Battle
Oh
Royal.
yeah,
That would
that's
be
right.
she'd be a powerhouse in that. Let
Yeah,
me think.
Gail Kim
Yeah,
right here.
that
That'd be a
that would
good
be a big
spot.
moment. That
Yeah,
that would just if she's on that show, I feel like that. Same thing with Paige. Like those would be big
yeah.
moments.
Yeah, this would be the place to do it. I like I said, I really want I didn't even come into this with anything with it, but now I want Zoe Stark and Ivory to censor.
That's what's gonna
Like
come out of this.
I want that now really bad. So in total, I think we have 13 matches. I'm gonna go over it one last
Okay,
time, and then if we want to make any changes or if we think we're missing like something big,
something pops
um,
out at us.
mm-hmm. Mm. Okay.
Our 2 night evolution spectacular.
Honestly, at this
Well,
point,
it's what 13, so that's
yeah,
about amount of matches they do, on each PLE. So
yeah,
if it's 2 nights,
that's true. It would have to be 2 nights. So this is Christopher Riddle's and Ella J's
not my government,
Evolution,
not my
Evolution
government.
2. Again, this is just dream booking based on the current roster, which is main roster, NXT, TNA, and free agents or
Yeah,
legends in there. So like my main event, this would probably be the night one main event for me. Mickey versus Charlotte versus Paige, because this is my show.
3
Um,
big names too.
women's tag team titles, whether it's a turmoil or an elimination or something, that can be worked out later. But we have Liv and Raquel defending against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. The Bella Twins, Brie, we need you back. Brie Mode
I think
back
it'll
in
happen.
action. Lay Cool, again, this would be coming off of Michelle's induction. And also, I saw Layla's dropping a new
Layla's
podcast.
dropping a new
So good
podcast
for
called
her.
Lay Talk. She's been very much more active on social media and saying that she wants to be back involved.
Yeah, and finally NXT's Lash and Jakara, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Knockouts championship as well, because I mean you have to have some TNA in there too as well.
God, the prestige of the TNA Knockouts Championship being defended on an all women's PLE, that's cool as hell.
Mm-hmm. Masha Slamovich versus Natalia. Now would Natalia make history as the first WWE person to be a TNA champ? Maybe.
I would do it and
Um,
have her lose it at Bound for Glory.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you would have her hold it for like 3 months then.
Yeah, which I mean, Evolution's rumored to be like July 5th, so in wrestling
Yeah.
that's not.
Okay. Okay. And then also we have Chelsea Green defending her women's United States Championship in a Divas Gauntlet, which I just have to say this was kind of Chelsea's idea. Like
I
she
love
wanted
this.
she technically wanted a Divas Open challenge, but I feel like a gauntlet like just keep them coming.
I mean, you could still call it the
Um
Divas Open Challenge,
that's true. Divas Open Challenge for the women's US title. Jillian would probably, and again, Chelsea would have Piper Niven and Alba Fire at ringside, to help her get through it. You would have Jillian, Maurice because she's wrestled recently, Kelly because she was kind of the one that inspired Chelsea Green, like at a live event
Kelly
years
always looks
ago.
good. She
I
just said in
know.
an interview this week she's always down to come back. So Kelly always looks good when she's in
And
the ring too.
and Kelly is still only 38,
That's
which is
crazy.
crazy.
Like
Like she just turned 38. And then to finish it off, you have to have like a big powerhouse Beth Phoenix. And then Piper would obviously help Chelsea retain. Like I would just love the theatrics, the entertainment with Jillian and Chelsea. Chelsea then being
Almost
scared
like
of Beth Phoenix.
that Billy
Yeah.
Jillian moment, Billy and Jilly.
Yes. Yeah, that would be so much fun. Um and maybe Jillian could get Piper or Alba to sing a little bit, and then Chelsea's like, Piper, what are you doing? I just think it would be really fun. And then number 5 is kind of mothers versus daughters, with CM Punk on commentary or special guest.
CM Punk, the only man
Enforcer.
allowed in Evolution.
Yeah. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus AJ Lee and Bailey with CM Punk nearby.
And that's another one of those situations where AJ hasn't wrestled a match in 10 years. You put her in a tag match.
Yeah, that's true. And then this is likely main event of night 2 for the WWE Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. So that means
I feel like that's the poster. Like that's the
one of them would theoretically then be winning at WrestleMania.
Yeah, or I mean you've got a couple months before then, you know.
Yeah. But like speaking of WrestleMania, the third part of that WrestleMania match, Io Sky would be part of a Damage Control 4-way. I like the parallels to Legacy. I didn't even like think of that.
I knew once I dropped that I would sell you on it.
Yeah, obviously Asuka and Kyrie have to come back. I feel like if you're gonna do it, it would be Asuka coming back and being like, "Yo, what the." Like she just like y'all forgot about me. Like hello,
or it's like evil Asuka, and she's planting seeds of doubt between each of them. You know.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the way to do it. Match number 8, the NXT Women's Championship. Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer defending in a 2 out of 3 falls.
Mm-hmm. I feel like 2 out of 3 is the best option. I wouldn't do Iron Man on this loaded of the card.
This would be the match to kind of do it in too as well. And then you mentioned another tag match kind of pitting generations against generations and like mothers and daughters.
I was gonna say this is another mother and daughter.
Becky Lynch and Lita, their story isn't done because Lita got attacked by none other than Trish Stratus, who would be teaming with the WWE Women's Champion at the time.
I don't know. So would that main event night 1 then? Like
I don't know. I mean, I guess she doesn't necessarily have to. Like, okay, so like I guess in theory, let's say Charlotte could be defending against Mickey and Paige, theoretically.
I would do that. I wouldn't have the WWE Women's Champion.
Okay.
Or even Jade and Nia.
Yeah, that's true. We don't really know where the WWE Women's Championship would be.
Now, the women's, going into writing ideas down for this, the women's world title and it being Rhea versus Bianca and it being the main event was like the first thing I wrote down.
Yeah. The WWE Women's title could be, maybe it could be Nia and Jade. Nia picks it back up, or it could be Charlotte defending in the aforementioned 3-way.
I would have a problem with it being Nia and Jade.
That is match number 10, Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. We got a tease of it last year, I believe, in the Queen of the Ring qualifiers, the tournament. But we haven't really gotten a full like clean.
Got that Royal Rumble moment.
Yeah, and then we also have the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria defending against Jordynne Grace. I feel like if you're going to do Evolution, like Jordynne has to be part of it. Like,
right? She represents like pretty much every part of, the different brands represented. Yeah.
So that would be really fun. And then a match that a lot of people have been wanting for years. Both of them have wanted it. Match number 12, Melina versus a heel Naomi.
Oh yeah.
So man, that would be super, super exciting. And we haven't seen Melina in a hot minute since the Royal Rumble 2022.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
She's not been in a singles match in WWE since what, 2011?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long time, but this is still a match that people are talking about.
Yeah.
And then obviously to cap it off, we have our battle royal where we will have people like Victoria, maybe some TNA people. You have like a Micha and a BFAB, maybe an Ash by Elegance because she's been in WWE and TNA and she was in the original. And then you have Zoe Stark and Ivory going all right to censor. And then Shayna Baszler's like, what are y'all doing?
Shayna's caught in the middle of the censor.
Yeah, there could be a lot of fun moments in that match. To wrap that up, I think
that was fun. I feel like we could have went another hour of just coming up with stuff. Did we forget anybody? Hold on, let me look at the.
Oh, Gail Kim could be in this battle royal as well somewhere.
Can we have Cherry in the battle royal, please?
You want to? Sure.
Cherry could be in the Divas Gauntlet. Jacqueline needs to be in the battle royal.
Jazz, yeah.
Ariel.
Oh my God. Just everybody at this point.
No, I think Modern Girls, we got everybody.
Piper would probably come back for it if we can't get Karma. I would love to see Karma.
Yeah, because Piper won't actually be wrestling.
Yeah.
I feel like a battle royal is doable.
Yeah, okay. So that.
But would she be Karma or Awesome Kong?
I mean, in WWE, she's Karma. I mean, I would love that. I just imagine that. But honestly, though, we kind of got the scary factor with Victoria. If she plays the scary Victoria.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we're kind of covered there.
I need, if not all the things she said, I at least need the slow version of Don't Mess With.
Yeah. So it seems that in our minds of Ella and Chris, we have a 2-night Evolution event coming.
I don't think we planned on it being that, but...
I should have known, honestly, because, it's really hard, oh man,
Evolution 2 2-night.
We're not even guaranteed to even get TNA people on this Evolution.
We're not even guaranteed to get another Evolution. We don't even have it officially announced yet.
That's true.
This did make it different than your other Evolution prediction videos, though.
Yeah, that's true. TNA and WWE, that wasn't a thing at all. Gail Kim, who would be the winner of this battle royal?
That's what I was thinking, because the last one got a future championship opportunity, so. I guess it would depend on who's in it. I would obviously probably Michin.
Probably. I mean, you'll have some NXT people in there too as well. I don't know who I would book.
Or maybe that's how you move somebody up from NXT to the main roster.
Yeah, that is true.
I would have it be a shocker like Kalani Jordan or somebody like that.
You would have to put I am inserting Zaria into this. Zaria and Victoria would be super fun. Yeah. Zaria and Jazz would be a super fun face off.
I would possibly have her win. Even if it's an NXT championship match.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I got my Damage Control shirt on, too.
I know, that's what I forgot to mention it. You got your Damage Control picture in the background and the shirt on. I felt like I was breaking your heart when I threw the 4-way idea out there.
I didn't think about that. Technically, though, this is the version with Bayley.
Okay.
So, she's already been gone. Would Bayley be the special guest ref? No,
she's busy. She's busy.
She's busy.
She's busy with her mother and their children.
Well, that does wrap up our Evolution 2 Dream card. Date TBD. You'll have to check with WWE when that's coming, because we're getting the pencils, right?
I don't know for sure. Yeah. Well,
no, I know.
Can we have it at wait, do we get to pick where it is then?
Oh.
If you could pick any venue, where would it be?
Something that's within drivable distance.
I liked Nashville. Did you like Nashville?
Oh, I love Nashville. I'm cool with it being in Nashville. I miss Nashville.
I liked Nashville. Nashville was the only city I ever went to that had a White Castle and a cookout. I liked Nashville.
I'm cool with Nashville. We're in hardcore. I guarantee. That's literally hardcore country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her city.
That adds another twist to the match then.
So, but Chris, before we let you go and get people out of here, let the people know where they can find you online and follow your work.
You can follow me on all social media at Chris Riddle, and then you can check me out on pretty much most of the North Carolina promotions these days.
Yeah, doing commentary and doing some video work for some legends. You'll have to stay tuned to his social medias for his next project.
There may be more coming soon.
That may or may not involve maybe some of the names you heard today. You'll have to TBD.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Little spoiler.
Nothing confirmed, but I have some ideas.
I know.
But if you are interested in any musical video commissions or commentary bookings, you can go to, what is it, link.tree, I think is Linktree, /Chris Riddle, or email me, chrisriddle94@gmail.com. On Twitter, it's Chris Riddle. Just go there. It has everything.
Yes. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an honor to be joined by the women's wrestling legend
I don't.
yourself.
I always appreciate you having me, my friend, but I don't know who you're talking to with those
I'm
lines.
talking to Mickey James behind you, obviously, and Gail
Oh,
Kim.
yes, yes. Oh,
Chris,
yeah,
it's been
Gail's
an
behind us, Mitra. You're talking
yep.
to a lot of girls,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Chris Riddle.